On December 14, 1819, Alabama was officially admitted as a state in the Union Territory, and that day marked the dawn for a new era in agricultural excellence. Alabama would eventually become one of the most agriculturally rich places in the world, with 9 million acres of farmland, leaving its mark on the great nation of the United States. As we near the 200-year mark since our great state's inauguration, we're going to take a deep look into the rich history of Alabama's agriculture, starting right from the beginning. From gaining statehood until the end of World War II, there was nothing that influenced Alabama's economic, social, and political life more than agriculture. Prior to the Civil War, soil, climate, and market demand initiated cotton cultivation, which also brought along slave labor. After the war, farmers began replacing slave labor, which led to the price of cotton dropping significantly. Soon after, modernization of farming techniques and the introduction of new types of crops altered Alabama agriculture. But farm and forest products remained central to the state's economy, and this granted farmers a very powerful voice in politics and industry at the time. When the Morrill Act was passed in 1862, Alabama was the first in the Confederacy to establish a strictly agricultural university. Established in 1872, East Alabama Male College, now known simply as Auburn University, was made the Alabama Agriculture and Mechanical College with the purpose of teaching farming, fishing, and other practices. This was not the only first Alabama had participated in relating to agricultural education. The Agricultural Experiment Station was established in our state, and it once again was the first of its kind in the South. The Tuskegee Institute was also one of the leaders in agricultural education at the time, as it still is today. Following the First World War, agricultural prices began to drop during the early 1920s. The New Deal provided landowners with federal support to reduce commodities. At the same time, they used federal funds to modernize and produce more on fewer acres. During World War II, demand for farm products encouraged diversification and provided money for more modern farming techniques. Urban employment opportunities also lured labor from the farm to the city, making mechanization imperative to meet the wartime demands for farm products. From 1925 until 1945, Alabama agriculture underwent more change than it had in the previous 100 years. By the 1970s, a large portion of Alabama's cotton farms were either left completely behind or used as pasture land for animals. This was one of the lowest points in Alabama agricultural history, as the state began making the shift away from agriculture and more towards industry. However, a boom in the soybean industry caused farmers to pick up their production in the fields again, causing many Midwest farmers to make the move southward to use the rich Alabama soil. This sparked a resurrection of sorts in Alabama agriculture. Farmers then began using the soil for more than soybeans, eventually coming full circle and using the soil for our once nation-leading crop, cotton. Today, our state's number one moneymaker doesn't grow from the ground, but rather from eggs. Alabama broiler producers marketed more than 1 billion birds in 2004, generating cash receipts that amounted to more than $2.4 billion. And the poultry industry has only grown since then. Alabama ranks third in broiler production behind Arkansas and Georgia. Alabama's birds also produced 2.1 billion eggs that same year, resulting in cash receipts upwards of $288 million. So, as you can see, in 2018, chickens are crucial to our state's agriculture industry. In 200 years, Alabama has made an unimaginable impact not only on the agriculture industry in the United States, but Alabama has affected agriculture positively on a global scale. Our innovations on agriculture technology and education has had repercussions felt throughout the world. Agriculture is ingrained into the people of the state, and it is responsible for the clothes we wear, the food we eat, down to even the beds we sleep in. In the famous words of President George Washington, "I'd rather be on my farm than be emperor of the world." With farmers taking this much pride in farming, it's no wonder that Alabama has led our nation into 200 years of agricultural excellence.